You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast on BQN. We're here to showcase the films you probably missed but should definitely check out. From independent and obscure to art house and absurd, each episode will gather perhaps a cocktail in hand to discuss it all. I'm your host, Matt Jennings, and with me today are Mark and a very special guest. He is a writer, he is a poet, he used to work HR.
Uh-oh.
The man,
I'm fucked.
There you are.
Oh no, Matt called HR on me. God damn it. You bitch.
You should have told him that before he started talking.
Listeners, the man, the myth, the legend, my father, Laurence, is on the podcast to discuss today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Miss you already. You just left here for back to Cali last, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, after Christmas and New Year's. So I'm glad to be here and join you guys and talk about whatever.
Well, we are very glad to have you. Mark, how was your holiday season?
Was there a holiday season? Listen, dude. So listeners might be like, why does Mark sound like shit? Well, listen. So I've been in the closet literally the whole time I've been recording Cinema Z, quite literally in a walk-in closet. And my acoustics are amazing inside of the walk-in closet. Well, if listeners to BQN know anything about me, they know that for the last 6 months I've been trying to buy a house. Well, we bought a house. Hi, I'm in said new house. But I'm in an empty room right now. That sounds like shit. So I'm going to really try very, very hard to, fix the acoustics for next time.
We're just happy that you are now in a home. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big step.
Yeah. So, with our hosts today, what have we watched recently? What's been in our TVs? What have we gone to see in theaters?
Well, I'm retired, so I don't have to work every day, and I watch everything. I saw Foundation.
Oh, so good.
Asimov's Foundation, I thought it's brilliant. It's complex for sure. And I don't know how much you have to know of the books in order to understand the series, but it's great. I saw Barbie, not impressed. I mean, really, I was not impressed at all. I think technically it's great, but I thought it was heavy-handed with some of the other stuff. I saw Past Lives the other night with Greta Lee.
Oh, how was that?
I thought that was fantastic. The script, the cinematography, the soundtrack, the performances, excellent. I see why Greta Lee was nominated for Best Actress for the Golden Globes. She was great. I'm one episode away. As a matter of fact, I'm going to watch the finale of For All Mankind.
Oh, so good.
Which I love.
I also, I've been watching For All Mankind as well. I had a pause for a little bit, and then I heard that Matt was on it, so I was like, oh, I gotta catch up. So I haven't seen your episode yet, but I'm speeding through it to get to your episode. So there's that, but also, I haven't seen this yet, but there is a new Nicolas Cage movie that is coming out. Dream Scenario, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. Right.
And I am very much looking forward to that. I like Nicolas Cage. I think he's a fantastic actor. I love the fact that he just does shit that he feels like doing. And if he hears about a story that's compelling to him or interesting or unique, or he can play a character he hasn't played before, he's going to jump at that thing. And this is a very non-Nick Cage role. You know,
Right.
he's usually playing the super macho, super action star Nick Cage, and here we have him playing just an ordinary schlub. You
Right.
know, that all of a sudden, like, people start dreaming of him, and it turns his whole world upside down. And so I kind of want to see what he does with that character, because I think it'll be really cool. So I
He's
haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
He was nominated for a Golden Globe for that.
Oh, for that one?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over the holiday, I made Matt watch Moonstruck.
Oh, I love Moonstruck with Cher.
Yeah.
That's so good.
One of my favorite Nicolas Cage parts.
Oh, he was cute in that one. It was a snack. Anyway.
And Raising Arizona.
Oh, another classic. Yeah, you got to see that one. Yeah.
What I saw recently, I just saw it 2 days ago, and I know it's got some Golden Globe nominations, and I think it got some SAG nominations as well, maybe? I don't know. Listeners, you'll have to do that research, because I could be wrong. But I saw American Fiction a couple of days ago, and that movie, there are some comedic elements. It's definitely a dramedy, and I went into it expecting to laugh, expecting to see satire, and I did. I think there are some moments that did affect me personally. I think because of the journey of the character, in terms of you have this person of color, this black man that does not live up to all of the black stereotypes in his work. Jeffrey Wright is a writer in this film, and his books aren't the kind of stereotypes that you would read about in black literature, in his literature. And you see someone that has achieved a certain kind of critical acclaim, and her books kind of cater to that stereotype, those stereotypes about people of color, and she's more ahead. And I don't want to give too much away, but you kind of see Jeffrey Wright's character go on this journey of trying to find his truth and find his voice, I guess, as an artist, and maintaining his voice as an artist in this world where it seems as if they want authenticity, they want diversity, but they'll only take it from a certain kind of source. And you see him kind of struggling with that. And so, again, personally, it was a little hard to watch, just because I didn't expect it to hit so close to home. All the actors are phenomenal. Personally, I want to give a shout out to, I believe her name is Erica Alexander. She was in Living Single. If anyone watched Living Single, you know Maxine Shaw, attorney at law.
Right.
Phenomenal. And to see her finally be in a project of critical acclaim like this. I mean, she was also in Get Out as well. I saw her in that. But to see her, get her flowers is just a joy, and I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was on my list, and I saw that a couple of days ago. So, listeners, as usual, we like to indulge in a little bit of libation while we discuss. So, I myself today, I'm having some water because I'm going to be driving in a little bit, so I'm being safe. But Mark, what you got there?
Well, I had to get creative here. So,
Oh, geez.
I don't know. Listen, I don't even have ice at this goddamn house. I'm serious. We haven't unpacked so our old place had an ice machine. The new place does not. Now, somewhere in our boxes, we have our old ice trays, which I can't find. So for the last week we've been here, we've had no ice. Anyway, whatever. So I have a drink, and if you notice, it's red in color. Very, very red.
It's red, yeah.
So I have called it the red pill. And
Oh, okay.
I want to go and see how far down the rabbit hole goes, I guess. It contains it's so awful. This drink is awful. I don't recommend it. But it's I have coconut vodka mixed with Sprite, mixed with cherry Kool-Aid, mixed with
God.
grenadine.
Oh no!
It tastes like cough syrup. It's so bad. But I'm going to drink it for you listeners because I'm a trooper.
You're a trooper, and you know what? Sometimes taking the red pill is really hard to do, just like drinking that drink. But you know what? Neo did it, and so can you.
I was raised religious in a Catholic household, and it was a sin to waste alcohol. So this is going down somehow.
Oh dear God!
Literally, dear God.
And so, Lawrence, Mr. Jennings, how are
Actually,
you?
I don't have a cocktail. I'll mime.
Okay.
Mime.
Yeah.
Your mind makes it real. That's what
That's
Morpheus
right.
said. Alrighty, so listeners, if you haven't guessed with some of these references, we are going to be discussing The Matrix. The Matrix is a film from 1999. It is a science fiction film. It is noir. It is action. It is thriller. It was written and directed by Lily and Lana Wachowski. When Neo, a computer hacker, is led to a foreboding underworld, he discovers the shocking truth. The life he knows is the elaborate deception of an evil cyber intelligence. The film stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, and so many more talented actors. In style, this film is a great nod to greats like Bruce Lee, films like John Woo's Hard Boiled, and so on. I think this film is a beautiful melting pot of unique storytelling through visuals and text. So, my fellow co-hosts for today, why did you want to watch this movie?
Well, I own it, so that's a bonus. I love picks that I already own. But no, in all seriousness, I remember so many good memories about this film from my childhood. My best friend growing up, he always wanted to like reenact scenes from this with me, like it was his favorite film. We'd play different characters and role play, and like he had the sound. He had a car before I did, and so he had the soundtrack in his car, and so we thought we were badass blasting the Matrix soundtrack as we drove around. And I don't know, it was a really bad car. I don't even remember what it was. What was the hell was the name of that car? Oh, it was a Malibu. It was like a red Malibu from the 90s. It was such a gross car. But anyway, but we thought we were cool driving around his red Malibu listening to the Matrix soundtrack. And so whenever I watch the Matrix, and I do watch it annually, I would say, it just brings back warm memories of, when I was a kid, and just how passionate we were about this film, and how like it really did change cinema, and it just was so unique and so original and so different from anything we'd seen before. I just really love the film. So I was excited to revisit for podcast purposes.
Awesome. Also, the soundtrack is it's Rage Against the Machine, isn't it? Isn't that
I
like
think
90%?
so, yeah.
Yeah. Rage Against the Machine. All right, Dad.
That's a hard question because I don't really remember exactly why I wanted to see the film. There was a lot of hype, obviously, about the film coming out. I knew some of the people who were going to be in it. I knew Lawrence Fishburne. I knew Keanu Reeves, the late Gloria Foster.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another subject entirely. But, the film came out in 99.
Yeah, it was like April of 99.
So you were 12 when this film came out.
I must have been like 7.
So I'm gonna assume you're suggesting you're younger than he is. So you were only 12. And so, we used to go to the movies a lot
Yeah.
when you were a kid. And this was the hot ticket at the time. And so I think one afternoon we just decided to go, and we were just blown away by the movie. I think for the first scene where Carrie Ann Moss does her thing.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of turned to each other and looked at each other and didn't say a word, just mouths wide open in awe of what we had just seen.
If you go into this blind without, because we've all seen it a dozen times since '99, but if you go in blind, you haven't seen a trailer, don't know anything about this film, and you just put it on, like that opening scene, you think it's one type of film that you're watching.
Right.
You think you're like, oh, this is like a hacker film from like the '90s, like whatever, because there was a lot of those.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on.
And then, well, it's anything but. Yeah.
Yeah. And Carrie Ann Moss, I mean, she was probably of the major stars. I mean, even Joe Pantoliano had been around for a while by the time this movie was released. But Carrie Ann Moss was kind of just getting started.
Yeah.
So, she kind of hit that mark in that scene. And I mean, I think the audience just went nuts.
Well, Keanu too, like he'd had some hits, like, he was in Bill and Ted and whatnot, but he hadn't had his big thing. This would become his big thing that really launched him.
Yeah. He had done Speed. I think Speed was his biggest film before this.
Was that the one with the bus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, that's right.
But he's had a couple of pretty decent franchises in addition to The Matrix.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to see this movie. Well, I remember seeing a trailer for the movie a very long time ago, and the only thing that I remember seeing was like, the are they called Sentinels? The squid looking.
Yes. Yes,
robots.
The Sentinels. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was like the one thing that I remember, and just looking at this movie going, this is really weird. And then, I mean, I just remember, Dad saying, let's go check this out. And I mean, it was just, again, it's the first few minutes of the movie. It was just the audible gasp, the audience reaction. And I think for me, being 11, 12 years old, that was just, I don't know. I was just drawn in. And I also think, I mean, and I'll move on after this. I remember watching the special features after the movie came out. And I think that's like one of the first times I would watch special features on DVDs. After that, I would just watch special features on anything that I could. But I was just obsessed with how they made the film, with the fight choreography, watching them train, all of that stuff.
Right.
Moving on to our second topic here. I guess after you saw the movie for the first time, if you can recall, after seeing it for the first time, what were your thoughts?
Well, let's see if I can remember. I mean, I think I might have been 4 or 5 when it came out.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, of course. That's right.
No, so I actually, I think I was really focused when I was a kid on like the sort of spiritual undertones of the film. I mean, I was raised really religious anyway, but by the time I was like in my high school years, I was studying a lot about Eastern philosophy and Buddhism in particular. And there's a lot of themes for Buddhism that run throughout The Matrix. And so I think that is what struck me while I was watching it when I was younger. It's like, oh yeah, like some of these thoughts and some of these feelings that are being voiced through this sci-fi narrative actually have spiritual significance. And that's what hung on to me, and it sort of opened up my mind a little bit to different possibilities, different ways of thinking that I normally wouldn't have thought of.
I distinctly remember Matt and I leaving the theater after watching the film for the first time. I think we saw it a couple of times that summer. But the first time walking out of the theater and just looking at each other and not saying a word. Because we couldn't believe what we had just watched. And I think you're right. There are a lot of religious themes in the film. I mean, just the whole concept of being the one, is a religious theme in and of itself.
Yeah.
And, the martial arts component to it, it reminded me of not only, you mentioned people like John Woo and some other folks, but, some of the moves, also reminded me of things like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where they would be walking on trees and, doing
Right.
all
Right.
kinds of acrobatic things that a little bit different than just your straight, flat on feet, Bruce Lee martial arts fighting style.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of I think religious themes in the movie, even to the point where you've got Joe Pantoliano's character basically being a Judas.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Oh,
You know,
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't
he's
think
a
of that.
traitor.
Yeah.
And he wants to betray. He wants to betray the group. I think it's very heavy and very deep when it comes to those types of themes. I watched it again today, and I picked up things that I hadn't seen ever in the film in terms of belief. Where Gloria Foster says, Morpheus believes you are the one,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's going to be able to tell him different.
Yeah.
That's just he believes you are the one. And if you think back on some religious themes, there was always those people that you couldn't convince them otherwise. He
Mm-hmm.
is or she is the one, the chosen.
Yeah.
And even, I watched it today and I saw something that I had never seen before. And that first time that Morpheus and Neo meet, Carrie Ann's character brings Neo into the room,
Right. Right.
introduces him to Morpheus. Morpheus, there's two chairs, one on the left, one on the right. And Morpheus says to Neo, he's motions to him to have a seat. And Neo, you think Morpheus wants him to sit in the chair on the left, but Neo takes the chair on the right. And Morpheus looks back at Trinity's character as if to
Mm.
say, he was expecting him to take the other seat, but he went to the seat on the right. If you see the film again, watch that,
I'm
because
gonna.
that's the
Okay.
first time that I saw something that let me know that Morpheus was in this thing with him
The
from
whole
the very
time.
beginning, even
Yeah.
before he talked to him about the pills.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, my initial reaction, I always say this. That was the Matrix was the first movie where I realized that I could see a movie more than once. I mean, I think that's just from going to movies with my dad, and we would go see it once, or going to a movie with my mom, we'd go see it once, and that was it. And I remember my dad saying, "Do you want to go see that again?" And I remember thinking to myself, "I can go see a movie more than once." And I want to see it in this movie. Of course, I want to go see this movie again. And I think we saw it like 2 more times. So I mean, that was one major thing for me. I think there was definitely the religious element in it as well, especially since I was going to church a whole lot back then. There was that element that grabbed me. I think again the martial arts. For one, I think seeing actors do their own stunts. I mean, some actors are always doing their own stunts, but I think here in particular, I guess I became more aware, especially after the special features, that these actors trained for months to do this. And that kind of dedication absolutely inspired me. And I don't know, there was a certain commitment to storytelling and detail that I just, even at 12 years old, I couldn't quite articulate it mentally, but I think on some kind of level, it stuck with me. Moving on, almost every scene before Neo wakes up in the real world is about choice, a choice to leap. He's got this choice to leave the life that he's known, whether it's metaphorically or physically. He's got the choice to go to the club. And one of those first scenes is getting invited to go out to this club. He's got the choice to stay at this job after getting this really bad evaluation from his boss. He's got the choice to take this offer that Agent Smith is giving to him after he's been interrogated. He's got the choice finally to take the red pill or the blue pill. So, my question is, have you ever made a choice to quote unquote leap?
Jeez. I met somebody in college that was very special to me, and we had a very very passionate relationship, and it was a relationship unlike any other I've ever had. It wasn't just a physical chemistry, which was amazing, but it was a spiritual connection, philosophical connection, just on so many different levels, a creative connection. We used to, I've mentioned on the pod before, a lot of times going to Blockbuster Video, and I had the pass and we'd go. Well, it was my partner at the time, his name was Matt. Him and I would often go and rent the movies together. Well, he was going through a really rough patch in his life, and had he'd been sadly mixing like medications that he was on for like antipsychotic reasons with alcohol, and it triggered him, and he went off the deep end and became physically abusive, and that's its own other thing. But I had a choice after that to either stay or leave. And mind you, I've never met anybody that I had a connection with quite like that in my life. And so it was a very difficult decision, because as somebody that grew up not having a lot of close relationships because of my sexuality, because of where I was geography wise, religious reasons wise, I didn't really have close connections, especially not like that. And so I had to make the choice to leave. And I literally, like, I sold like a bunch of stuff, and I quit my job, and I just bought a one-way plane ticket down to Florida, and I just left. And it was tough, but I knew literally as the clouds were parting and I was touching down on the Miami tarmac, and I could see palm trees for the first time in my entire life. And I started to weep. I knew that I made the right decision.
Wow.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard to talk about. Matt's been around now for 30 years.
What did you say? Did you say 22, 23 years? Yeah.
22 years. So he's been part of obviously my decision making process for decades now. And when he was, I guess, up until the time that he was 7, he lived here in Brooklyn. And his mom decided that she wanted to. She met someone and she wanted to move to California. And for a long time, I fought, and we ended up spending some time in court because I wanted him to stay here in New York. And obviously, I could have had that happen, but at the end of the day, I knew that where he was living in Brooklyn and where they were going to in California, he'd have better opportunities educationally and a whole host of other ways. And so I made a decision to let him move away to California when he was 7. And so for the next 15 years or so until he finished college, he would come for Christmas, spring break, and all summer.
And even some Thanksgivings too.
And Thanksgivings too. So I had him all of the holidays. And, we'd have to take him to the airport, and the flight attendant would take him by the hand, and they'd put him on the plane, and he'd fly by himself. When he was 7,
Wow.
8, 9, 10 years old, from New York to Cali, Cali to New York. And it was that way all the way up until, he finished high school. And, once he finished college, it was a little bit different. And he would, he had his own life in California. But those early years when he was, still a baby in my mind, having him go back and forth from New York to Cali was really hard.
Yeah.
And he, it was very, very difficult, but it was a choice and a leap that I made, and I made it, more for him and, less for me.
That's tough to do. That's extremely difficult. But, when you love somebody, the choice has to be about the person you love, So I totally get it. We're getting deep on your damn Matrix discussion. Why aren't we talking about dildos at this point in the conversation? Oh my God, we're not here to kink shame.
Listeners, we are not here to kink shame. We are not here to kink shame, listeners. And thank you for sharing that, Dad.
Sure.
I think for me, there was a job that I was at that, in some ways, it just wasn't. It wasn't a healthy environment. I remember some situations where the break room for the employees was in the same room as the office of the supervisors,
That's all
and it was very strange.
That seems
And
like an HR violation.
I mean, like, without putting the organization on the spot on the podcast, it's a well-known one in Southern California. A lot of people go there to look at things from the past. And for that kind of organization to have that kind of setup for people that are working there, it was very strange and it was very weird. Some of the employees weren't great either. And I mean, I already had another job, so I was going to be okay. This was one that I took on recently. And I remember having my evaluation, and for whatever reason, we didn't even have a place to have our evaluations. It was in the staircase of this well-known establishment. It would be on the staircase. Anyway.
Was it a magical kingdom? Was it a magical staircase?
No, you're not going to get the name out of me, Mark.
I'm wondering if mice walked by you in the staircase at all, or princesses. No, okay.
No,
I'm done.
But anyway, I mean, I remember I was getting my evaluation. It wasn't anything negative. It was good stuff. And I remember being asked, when I could take my next new bit of training, because they had new training for everybody to take. And something in me said, it's time to go. And so when my supervisor in the evaluation in that moment had asked me about the training, I said, actually, I'm going to be leaving. And it kind of came out naturally. It wasn't, a rebellion or anything like that. It kind of just came out as saying, actually, I think, this is going to be, one of my last weeks. And I remember thinking to myself, that was a little impulsive. Why did I do that? Normally, I will stay at a job. I'm a very goody two shoes. And I remember after that, things in my professional life started to pick up more or less a week, 2 weeks after that was done.
How did you feel after you made that decision? That day, like, how did you feel? Like, after
that day I was petrified. That day I was petrified. I mean, again, I had another job, so it wasn't the end of the world, but I think that's the thing too, is that it's almost like, when you're taking that leap, by the way, initially you are not going to feel like it's the best decision of your life. Not all the time. I used to joke and say, in regards to certain situations, when you make that leap, you kind of have that Viola Davis moment. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen The Help, but there's like this moment in The Help where she's like got her purse in her hand and she's walking down this dirt road and she's crying, and then all of a sudden she's smiling at the end. And so I would joke around with people and saying, yeah, I'm going to have my Viola Davis moment. But the thing is, it doesn't all happen in one moment like that. First, you're crying. That crying could be for months. That crying could be for a year, for 2 years. That smile comes in maybe 5 months down the road. That smile might come a year down the road, if that makes any sense. But initially, it's petrifying.
I was just going to say, there's leaps and then there's cliff dives.
Yes.
I mean, if you've got something, a cushion of some sort, something to hold you over, you can make a decision within some framework, that says, okay, I can do this and I'm going to be okay for a while. And then those leaps where, you have nothing to fall back on. I think those are the most daring choices to make when you just have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. Moving on to topic 3A. So,
okay.
Huh?
Okay. All right, we're doing that this week. That makes sense. All right.
So when Neo meets the Oracle, she tells him he's not the one. And later in the film, Neo takes ownership of himself. And Morpheus says there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Now, my question is, do you think that Neo was always the one, or do you think that he became the one when he believed in himself?
Oh, that's a good question. I think he was always the one because I think he always had the potential. So that's my call. Yeah, I just feel like he was the one, and I feel like by her sort of telling him he's not, that freed him up to be the one. So she popped the balloon that was holding his ego or who he thought he was. And she popped that balloon, and then all of a sudden it just he had all this space to just be who he actually was, which was the one. So I think it was always there underneath the bubble of ego, the bubble of who he thought he was. It was there the whole time. I know, that's so Buddhist. Whatever. I told you we'd be getting into philosophical conversations with this pod.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was always the one. I think he didn't have a fucking clue. I think everybody else knew he was the one. Everybody else thought he was the one. I think Trinity felt he was the one from day one. I think Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus, knew he was the one. He had so much faith. I think Gloria Foster, the Oracle, knew he was the one, but she wasn't ready to tell him yet. The one. She said, "Okay, I see it, but I'm gonna. You got some, a little more marinating to do before you got to." As a matter of fact, I think it's a pivotal moment in the film where she tells him to look at the sign over his head in the kitchen, and the sign says "Know thyself." And I think that was her way of telling him, you're the one, but you have to know it. I can't tell you that you're the one. And she says, being the one is like being in love. You just know it, balls to bones. And that's what she says to him. So I think everybody knew he was the one, but he had to believe in himself. And I think finally, by the end of the film, he realizes, that flying sequence, is when he realizes, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
Now, Lawrence, this question is for you. Do you find that's sort of true with parenting, where you will see your child and know what their potential is, but it's almost like banging your head against the wall because they don't see it, and you have to sort of wait for them to get to that point?
Well, I'm looking at him right now. He knows the answer to that question. Yeah. I mean, there are times, even the last time that he was home for Christmas a couple of weeks ago, he showed me a copy of the latest episode of his film. And I think it's brilliant. But watching him agonize over this thing for days and hours, and I'm like, Matt, he's like, well, can I just... And I'm like, leave it alone. Let it go. It's really good. It's well written. It's well acted. It's well directed. But yeah, parenting is, it's one of the hardest jobs I've ever done. And I've done some ridiculously hard HR jobs.
Yeah.
But being a parent to a kid, especially a kid, who's trying to figure out their sexuality, that's a whole nother component to parenting that, a lot of parents don't have to go through. But yeah, I deal with that with him all the time. I'm his greatest unspoken supporter sometimes, because I have to sit back and let him come into realization on his own.
So listeners, this is basically my dad's way of saying that he's my oracle.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Just a comment on the film, because you were doing your synopsis about what the film was about, and science fiction. If you look at science fiction, the Twilight Zone, for example,
So
right?
good. So good.
Most of the episodes of the Twilight Zone are about people who are forced to realize that the things that they thought were the reality
Yeah.
were not.
Yeah.
Were
Oh, so
absolutely.
good point.
Yeah.
And that's really what this film is about. He's like down the rabbit. I mean, they make references in the film to Down the Rabbit Hole
Mhm.
and The Wizard of Oz and all of that stuff. And so the thing that really struck me about this movie is that it's a very, very deeper discussion on the concept of altered realities.
Mhm.
There isn't most of the Twilight Zone episodes that I saw were about things that people had to come to realize, wow, I guess there is something different.
Yeah.
And maybe I just couldn't see it. But yeah, that's really the deepest part of the film for me is that whole concept of what's real and what's not real.
I think in regards to Neo being the one, I think that he always had the potential. I think the potential was always there, but I think had he not taken ownership, he would have gotten in his own way and it would not have been him, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So I think for me it was always a little bit of both.
Right. Which is weird because if it wasn't him, I mean, if you think about all three films, if it wasn't him, who else would it be?
Exactly.
Now, can I confess something to both of you guys without getting any kind of shade? I watched, I've seen the original Matrix movie. I don't know how many times. I love the film. But when the second one came out, I don't know. I had stuff going on. I didn't have a chance to go to the theater. And I kept hearing how not as good it was. And then the third one came out, and everybody kind of really, really, piled on that one.
Right.
And so I've never seen them. I never saw 2, and I never saw 3. Yeah, I know. No, not to this day. But I did watch. But I did watch the fourth one that came out a couple years ago. And then they were talking about all this stuff from 2 and 3, and I'm like really confused.
So you're a book-in Matrix?
Yeah.
Pretty much, I guess.
1 and 4, and you missed 2 and 3.
I used to wear it as a badge of honor because it was so odd. You know what I mean? They're like, "But you haven't seen the other ones?" And I'm like, "No, I love the first one. I didn't want it to spoil it." You know what I mean? It's like I loved it so much.
Yeah.
It was like a perfect little Fabergé egg, and I was afraid if I watched 2 and 3, it might tarnish my Fabergé egg. So I just haven't. What do you guys think? Should I watch the other ones or no?
Well, you should definitely watch them. I mean, I can't. You have to have a complete picture, and if you don't watch all 4 films, then you are, I don't know, Matrix adjacent.
Yeah, I was very confused by number 4 because I was like, they're talking about all these people and events that happened, and I'm like, I don't know, who's this character? It was Will Smith's wife was in it, and I was like, what's she doing here?
Why is Jada Pinkett here? Oh
yeah,
God!
I don't know.
There are some great action scenes in number 2. There really are.
There really are
action scenes in number 2.
And again, everybody did their own stunts.
I agree with you in terms of scale rating. I would go 1, 2, 3.
It's getting lower, ladies and gentlemen.
By the time I got to Matrix number 4, I'm kind of like you. I was like, oh, okay. They could have probably cut it off after 2 and really tightened it up.
Yeah.
But, I still watched them. I'm not going to tell you I loved all 4 of them, but you have to sit through it. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
To to be continued, listeners. I'll do a
Yeah.
follow-up
Yes.
at some point with like, okay, I watched the other ones.
I do have to say, I think number 4, a quick comment on number 4. I think 4 was just the Wachowskis' way of saying that they didn't want to make a fourth one because there's so much text in the fourth movie and so much setup in the fourth movie about how everyone is talking about how, well, the first Matrix was this and it was this. I mean, listeners, you have to. It is so meta. The fourth one is so meta
It
that
was
it's
very
just,
referential to the first one.
yes, it's commentary on itself. But something again that I thought I kept hearing was that we didn't want to make another one. We didn't want to make another one. Everyone thought that this is what the first one was, and now we're in this place where we have to try to top this. And
Right.
so, in some ways, I felt like I was hearing what they were saying, and I appreciated at least that element of what they were trying to say. Moving on, I have to ask this. Favorite fight scene?
The rooftop scene. I don't know, because it's like a visual orgasm. I mean, the thing is like you'd never seen anything like it. You know, my eyeballs had never seen anything like it, and then everybody tried to copy it
Yeah.
since that, but that was the first time it happened. So it's like they broke the condom. It's like we all got pregnant with that one.
Now,
No, it was
what
good.
scene are you talking about? The scene at the very beginning?
No, like the fight scene on top of the rooftop when it's bullet
Oh,
time
okay.
and Carrie Ann Moss jumps off and
Right.
there's the helicopter and yeah.
Helicopter. Right. Okay.
Yeah. That whole thing was just like mind blowing, and I think it holds up. You know, on the rewatch, I was like, yeah,
Oh,
it's
God.
still fucking good.
Oh,
It's still a
still.
great scene.
Still.
Yeah. It's tough though. In a movie that's filled with really awesome choreography, it is tough to pick one. But just for the groundbreakingness of the bullet time camera technology that they created specifically for the film, you got to give it to the rooftop scene. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Right. My favorite fight scene, I think my favorite fight scene, and it's not really a fight scene, but is the scene where Trinity and Neo walk into the office building,
Oh, that. I mean, yeah, of
all
course.
the guns getting ready to save Morpheus.
Oh yeah,
That-
yeah.
That's my favorite fight scene.
When they're in the lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a
Yeah.
cool. No, that was my runner-up. So yeah, I like that part too.
That's
Yeah.
a great scene.
I've got 2. I'm breaking my own rule here. I've got 2. So one of my favorites is, and I guess maybe they're the less known ones. So there's the fight between Agent Smith and Morpheus in the bathroom. I mean, there's obviously wire work. There's a scene where or there's a moment where Morpheus and Agent Smith are fighting, and he does like this handstand, and he's like kicking him sideways.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
good.
jumps up and goes on the. It was just, my mind was like, oh my God, my mind is being bent. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, he ends up losing the fight. Morpheus loses the fight, but it's just visually, it was just some wild stuff. I mean, people walking on walls and fighting. Oh my God. And then my favorite scene, it's probably my top favorite scene. That's like my second favorite fight scene. My first favorite fight scene is the fight in the train station.
Oh
Yeah.
that's a good fight scene too.
It's just,
You think he's toast. You think the train's gonna get him, and then at the last minute, whoop!
it's just beautiful. I mean, there's the bullet time, which is also, a gorgeous effect, but I think in terms of what the fight is saying, to me it's a bit of a duet. We've got Agent Smith, who is assuming this dominance and has this dominant personality, the state of being, and now you have Neo, who is all of a sudden challenging that in this fight. And they've got moments where one person's got the upper hand, the other person's got the upper hand. You've got moments where Neo kicks off Agent Smith's glasses, and Agent Smith thinks that he's got him, and then Morpheus just keeps getting back up and keeps getting back up. And you see this person finally starting to take ownership of themselves and who they are with each, I guess, each break and each, go back in.
Do you think it's because he's in love?
I mean, there is that. I think that's definitely a catalyst. But I think just with all the choices that he's had to make up until that point, I think that this is kind of the build up and the last, I think it's the straw that breaks the camel's back for Neo. I remember being, 12 years old, trying to act out those scenes and mirror the fight and all. Listeners, anytime I watch this movie, I'm 12 years old again. You just don't understand.
Oh, if we were living near each other in the 90s, I mean, I know when this movie came out, I was like one, maybe 1.5.
Right.
But,
You're getting younger every time.
But,
Like you went
we could have been
from
friends.
8 or 9 to 7 to 1.
Hey, I'm just, memory's a little fuzzy. It was a long time ago.
He's in the Matrix with his age, as he's watching the movie.
Slowly, my hair's starting to grow back, actually.
So, another obvious question, but I am very curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you were given the choice, you were there in the house with Morpheus, you've taken your seat, he's got the red pill and the blue pill in front of him. Which one do you guys take?
We can just take one? I mean, I'd take the red pill, the blue pill, the yellow pill, the little round one, the powder over here, these dried up things in the bag.
Those are very different drugs that we're talking about on
I'm trying to expand my mind here, so I'm going to take all of them.
You could add it to your drink.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh god, this drink. I'm only halfway through it. You listeners, at this point in the pod, I'd probably be finished with my drink, but I still have half of it left because it's like cough syrup.
Listeners, do not mix pills with your drinks.
Right.
Do not. Or any powder substances.
No, but shrooms, you probably could get away with it. Anyway. Moving on.
Matt, I don't know that that's such an obvious question. I think, you're expecting people to say the red pill. I think it depends on where you are in your life at the time.
I absolutely agree.
I think so. If you're, maybe 21 years old and you got things you want to accomplish and you're adventurous, etc., you might take the red pill and say, shit, I'm going to just go for it. But if you are in your 40s and you got a family and you got kids and all of this, you may say, oh, shit, I can't go down the rabbit hole. Now I got to go home, and help my kid with their homework and whatever. So I got to take the blue pill. He has no hesitation at all. He just takes the red pill, drinks water behind it, and he's done.
Yeah.
But he's also in a state and a place in his life where he really doesn't like his job. He's hacking out of his apartment. He's not really happy with his existence. So the red pill for him is a pretty clear choice. But I think it's a matter of where you are at that time in your life.
So would you take the blue pill or the red pill?
I have taken the red pill. That's another story for another time. I remember seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey and A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, bless you.
I
knew I liked you, Laurence.
All in the same weekend.
Wow. Dude, the same weekend?
Oh, yeah.
For the first time, you saw one and then the other back to back.
One and the other.
Oh, shit. That's cool.
The same weekend, yep. And that was a red pill weekend. Mm-hmm. But today, I don't know. I think I might. I think I've already taken the red pill, and I know a lot about red pill land. So I might either take the blue pill or no pill at all.
That is fair. I think with the current state of the world, I might want to take the red pill. I'm not going to lie. I might be curious about what else is out there and maybe trying to find a way to understand the why of some of these things. So the red pill, maybe. All right. So here is it's one of our favorite segments on our podcast. We call this the director's cut segment. We're going to give a little bit of backstory to some of our favorite scenes from the film, and then we're going to do a little bit of a cold read for everybody.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
In the first scene that we have here, Neo is he's in the waiting room basically to see the Oracle, and he is looking at some of the other potential ones, the other potential messiahs to save the world from the Matrix, and he's watching them in this room. And Neo comes across a very particular child, and he's watching them, and they have a conversation. So, who wants to be Spoon Boy, and who wants to be Neo?
I can be Spoon Boy.
All right. Well, Matt, you can be Neo.
All right.
I'll read Priestess.
All right. Okay.
Action.
Neo watches a little girl levitate wooden alphabet blocks. Closer to him, a skinny boy with a shaved head holds a spoon which sways like a blade of grass. In front of him is a pile of spoons bent and twisted into knots. Neo crosses to him and sits. The boy smiles and hands Neo the spoon, which is now perfectly straight.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That is impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
That there is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
Then you will see that it is not only the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
The entire room is reflected inside the spoon, and as Neo stares into it, it slowly begins to bend until a hand touches his shoulder.
The Oracle will see you now, and you better pick one, you dumbass.
Cut.
Oh my god! I was reading like the name, the priestess, and then your dad spoke, and I just lost it. I was like, oh shit! I was wondering how he was gonna play it. Oh, that was great. That made it for me.
All right. Scene number 2. This is one of my favorite scenes. Probably one of my favorite scenes out of all cinema. Just because it takes the types, I think in some ways it takes stereotypes and flips things on their head. You see things that you wouldn't see normally take place and come into fruition in this movie. One little shout out. I have to give a shout out to the Wachowskis for the use of people of color in this movie, throughout this movie, especially as, I guess in some ways, religious figures like Morpheus, the Oracle, people of color being in the future. This is a little bit of trivia, but before Keanu Reeves, Will Smith was offered the role first.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith was offered the role of Neo, and he turned it down. But I have to give it up to them for this kind of representation, and to have an older black woman be the voice of reason and be the all-seeing, I think is quite an amazing thing, especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Just a quick bit of trivia too, Matt.
Yes.
Gloria Foster, by the time this film was released, she was really at the end of her career.
Yeah.
The bulk of her acting career was done in the 60s and 70s. She did a lot of work with Bill Cosby. She was on one of the first episodes of I Spy.
Oh, wow.
With Bill Cosby in the 60s. She did a film with him called Man and Boy. She worked with Sidney Poitier.
Oh, I love Sidney. Rest in peace.
And by the time the second film came out in, I think it was 2003.
Yeah, it was 2003.
She had already passed away.
Yeah, that's
She
right.
died in 2001. So they must have shot her scenes before she passed away, or they used footage that they shot for the first film.
Very much respect to her for her contribution and for playing an iconic character towards the end, towards the very end. That's a gift. That's a blessing. So, yeah, listeners, a little bit of backstory about this scene. Neo is now here to see the Oracle, and they have a bit of a conversation. I want to play the Oracle. I want to play the Oracle so bad.
I really want to play the narrator.
There's a narrator?
Yes.
Yeah, the stage directions.
Yeah.
Marcus
Oh,
with the
okay.
stage directions. So, Dad, that makes you Neo.
Okie doke.
Action.
An old woman is huddled beside the oven, peering inside a cracked door.
Hello?
I know you're Neo. Be right with you.
You're the Oracle?
Bingo. Not quite what you're expecting, right? Almost done. Smell good, don't they?
Yeah.
I'd ask you to sit down, but you're not going to anyway. Don't worry about the vase.
What vase?
He turns to look around, and his elbow knocks a vase from the table. It breaks against the linoleum floor.
That vase.
Shit, I'm sorry.
She pulls a tray of chocolate chip cookies and turns. She is an older woman wearing big oven mitts, comfortable slacks, and a print blouse. She looks like someone's grandmother.
I said, don't worry about it. I'll get one of my kids to fix it.
How did you know?
She sets the cookie tray on a wooden hot pad.
What's really going to bake your noodle later on is, would you still have broken it if I hadn't said anything?
Smiling, she lights a cigarette. She winks. He nods.
You're cuter than I thought. I see why she likes you.
Who?
Not too bright, though. You know why Morpheus brought you to see me. So, what do you think? You think you're the one?
Honestly, I don't know.
She gestures to a wooden plaque, the kind every kitchen has, except that the words are in Latin.
You know what that means? It's Latin. It means know thyself. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Being the one is like being in love. Nobody can tell you you're in love. You just know it. Through and through. Balls to bones.
She puts her cigarette down.
Well, I better have a look at you. Open your mouth. Say ah.
She widens his eyes, checks his ears, then feels the glands in his neck. She nods, then looks at his palms.
Okay. Now I'm supposed to say, that's interesting. But when you say,
But what?
but you already know what I'm going to tell you.
I'm not the one.
Sorry, kid. You got the gift, but looks like you're waiting for something.
What?
Your next life, maybe. Who knows? That's how these things go.
He takes a cookie and leaves.
Cut.
See, I ad-libbed that.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
So
goddammit. Those cookies in the movie looked good.
They
Like
did
good
look
grandma
good.
cookies.
what kind of cookies were there? It was like
They were
were they
chocolate chip.
oatmeal and raisin?
No, they were chocolate chip.
They were a little crunchy. I'm a soft cookie person. I don't like crunchy
Yeah.
cookies.
I was hoping for oatmeal raisin.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to.
Said nobody ever. Are you serious, Lawrence? I thought I liked you. Oatmeal raisin. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Better
You
than
bite into an oatmeal raisin, you think it's gonna be a chocolate chip cookie. So you bite in, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get myself some chocolate chips, and then you fucking hit a raisin. It's like the
I think I
worst
heard-
thing.
I heard a distinct crunch when he bit into the cookie.
Yeah.
So it was not soft baked. So either the Oracle couldn't bake for shit. When you pull the cookie, when she said, "Oh, almost ready," you pull the cookie out of the oven. It's not supposed to snap. So if it's hard coming out of the oven, that's a problem for me.
Oh my god. If we
that
titled episodes, we should title the episode "The Oracle Can't Cook for Shit."
And this is going to be our sound clip for this episode. This is the sound clip that we're using.
Absolutely.
So, moving on to the last scene, we've got here another one of my favorites. This is the first meeting between Neo and Morpheus. So, who wants to be Morpheus? Who wants to be Neo?
And there's the narrator.
And there's the narrator. Yes.
Are you gonna cop out again with the narrator bullshit?
No, I can do one of the other ones. I don't know. You guys pick though. Like I don't know. What are you guys going to do?
I'll be Morpheus.
I'll be Neo.
Okay.
All right, then I guess I am the narrator.
I guess you are.
Motherfuckers. All right.
It was a test.
Action.
Across the room, a dark figure stares out the tall windows. Veiled with decaying lace, he turns, his smile lights up the room. A dull roar of thunder shakes the old building.
At last.
He wears a long black coat, and his eyes are invisible behind circular mirrored glasses. He strides to Neo and they shake hands.
Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor.
No, the honor is mine. Please, come, sit.
He nods to Trinity, and she exits through the door to an adjacent room. They sit across from one another in cracked burgundy leather chairs.
I imagine right now you must be feeling a bit like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole.
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up.
A smile, razor thin, curls the corner of his lips.
Ironically, this is not far from the truth, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Can you tell me, Neo, why are you here?
You're Morpheus. You're a legend. Most attackers would die to meet you.
Thank you. But I think we know there's more to it than that. Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean.
Again, the smile that could cut glass.
Let me tell you why you are here. You have come because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You've never felt it your whole life. Felt that something is wrong with the world. You don't know what, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix?
Do you want to know what it is?
Neo nods.
The Matrix is everywhere. It's all around us. Here, even in this room. You can see it out your window or on your television. You feel it when you go to work or go to church or pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, kept inside a prison that you cannot smell, taste, or touch. A prison for your mind.
The leather cracks as he leans back.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
Morpheus opens his hands. In the right is a red pill. In the left, a blue pill.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no going back. You can take the blue pill, and the story ends. You wake in your bed and you believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Cut.
Dad, phenomenal Morpheus, by the way.
Huh?
I said, Dad, phenomenal Morpheus.
Thank you,
Very good, Morpheus. Thank you.
Mark, I felt as if I was at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre, and this was a staged reading of The Matrix.
Cheers to both of you. Bob's your uncle.
Oh gosh.
They already hate me over in the UK. After the Christmas Carol? Oh my god, they're so over my accents at this point.
Patrick Stewart's just never coming on to this podcast.
Probably
he'll
not.
never see.
No.
He'll never come on to the podcast. So coming down to the wire here, do we have any rewrites? Anything that we would want to change maybe today, seeing this movie? Anything that we would want to see differently?
On this watch, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like some of the, and this is the first time I noticed it, I think it was because I was trying to really analyze the picture rather than watch it for fun. So I noticed stuff that I normally wouldn't. But I think that some of the dialogue was a little clunky and a little bonk over the head. And it didn't need to be necessarily so heavy-handed. With that said, I mean, I love the film. I own the film. I watch it all the time. Well, at least once a year. But yeah, I do feel like there's some spots where the dialogue could be a little bit spruced up, I think, especially if we were making it today.
Not for me. I mean, I find, there's some films where I can, try to criticize, whether it's some writing or, some spots that seem a little dead. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to criticize a film like The Matrix and say there should have been more of this or less of that. I think they were pretty daring for their time.
Yeah.
What I would love to know more about was what was happening with the two of them, in their relationship as family members. And the fact that, one of them was going through, obviously, some personal struggle with sexuality and dealing with, just some changes that were about to happen, in her life while she's writing and making this movie.
This movie. That's interesting.
Think about that because that's a rabbit hole,
right?
In and of itself,
right. They're having an awakening
before, right? Was it before the trans?
Yeah, well, she was always trans, but it hadn't gone through transition at that point.
Yeah, like that. I hear what you're saying. Like, I think it's like that kind of looking at the Matrix and the idea of, someone having an awakening, right? And thinking about, the journey that the Wachowskis. Is it Wachowskis or I always mess this up? Wachowskis, the thinking about the journey that they're, they take later on and thinking, about the journey that Neo is taking and realizing who he is. It's very interesting. I think you're right, Dad, to kind of see some of that maybe possibly, play out in their art and, see these people become their full selves.
Right.
Later on down the road. That's very interesting. I didn't think of it, but yeah.
What is that? Sense8 that they did. I feel like was an almost updated version of this story.
Absolutely.
Where it's instead of one Neo, there's 8 Neos that are waking up to their individual truths.
That was a pretty good series.
Oh my god, I loved it so much. Yeah. Ended too soon.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, some of the subsequent films outside of the Matrix, were up and down in terms of quality, but TV series like Sense8 I thought were amazing.
On a side note, that does have one of the most erotic scenes I've ever seen in my life. Just the idea where you have
people sort of waking up to the possibility of sexuality being more fluid, and just them coming to that sort of all at the same time, that idea. And then they visualize that awakening through having all of them have this massive like orgy in a swimming pool or some shit. I don't remember, but I remember how it made me feel, and it wasn't like it made me feel like, oh, I want to go spend some personal time. But no, I just remember seeing that scene and just feeling like, I get it. I think this is beautiful. I think this is true. And it was it was very sexual and sensual, but it was also this true moment. And it was something that I was very shocked into seeing from like a television show on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that the way they handled it, they didn't really hit you over the head.
No.
With the way that they worked the sexuality and the fluidity into the series.
Yeah.
It was just kind of the way it was.
Yeah, it helped tell the story.
And the characters, that's
who they were.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great series.
Yeah. So moving on, there's nothing that I would change. There's nothing I would rewrite. Yes, I have a bias, listeners. I do.
Sure, make me the asshole.
All right, moving on. Any standouts? Anything that we wanted to mention that we haven't mentioned about this movie that we liked? Anything?
Yeah, I need to throw this out there because this is what popped into my mind while I was watching it, and I felt like I was watching A New Hope. Because A New Hope might not be a lot of people's favorite Star Wars film, but because the pacing, because they're building the world, right? And they're introducing and explaining the Force, right? And all of these concepts that eventually would make the world of Star Wars. Now, I felt like that with The Matrix. It's like they had a lot to do in this film, and they took their time with it and they explained it. And you started by the end of the film, at the beginning of the film, you're like, what the hell is happening? It's the same in Star Wars. It's like, who are these space wizards? But like at the end of the film, you get a bigger, perspective of what it is. And it's the same with The Matrix. It's like, it starts out, you don't quite know what kind of a film it's going to be. And by the end, you have a solid grasp of what the world is, what the philosophy is, who the characters are. And they do an excellent, excellent job building the world and setting up, the universe that the Matrix exists in. So I don't think it could have been done better. And to me, like I said, I instantly thought of like Star Wars because that's why it's a classic. That's why there's so many spin-offs of Star Wars, is because that film did such a good job setting it up and helping the viewers understand. And that's what The Matrix did as well.
I just wanted to see more of the woman in the red dress.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
She was only there for like a moment. Other than that, and
Lawrence is still following her. He's looking down. That's why he still lives in Brooklyn. He's like, she's here somewhere.
No, but seriously, I mean, the thing that really struck me about the movie that hit me the hardest was that whole sequence where Neo has to be taken out of his comfort world, and he has to, with the tubes and the things, and they're pulling things out of his, his back, and the sound effects of the snap. I just thought that was so. I was like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
I do not want to go to the Matrix. If that's what I have to go through in order to get to the other side, then I'll stay here.
Now, if you do like being covered in jelly and having electrodes hooked up to you, we're not here to kink shame.
We are not here to kink shame.
No, we're not here to kink shame, right?
No.
We are.
You do you.
I mean, there's the moment where, Neo wakes up in the real world. And I mean, I remember this because I didn't get the significance of it as a kid. My dad pointed it out to me the first time that we had watched it, and now it sticks with me all the time. Where Neo wakes up, they're on the hovercraft, the Nebuchadnezzar, and so Neo says to Morpheus, "Why do my eyes hurt so much?" And Morpheus says to him, "You've never used them before." And just the concept of that. And even though
Okay. Sorry, you brought it up. Why? My eyes would fucking hurt too if there's these bright ass lights shining right into my face, which is exactly what I thought watching this film. When I did my rewatch, I was like, "He's like, oh, why do my eyes hurt?" It's like, well, dude, you have a spotlight shining directly on your face. The entire ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, is dark. It's a dark, brooding, masculine ship. But then there's these bright lights shining right in Neo's face. It's like, no shit. What the fuck?
And to bring this full circle back to A Clockwork Orange.
when
they have Alex in the chair with his eyes spread wide open, and he can't close his eyes, and they're forcing him to see things.
Yeah.
Just, there's a lot of similarities to you look at film and with directors, sometimes you can see them pay homage to
it can be referential for sure.
in other films. But I thought it's a great movie. It certainly set up a lot of other films to come after.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I could say so much more. I think I've said all the things that I want to say. I mean, the last thing that I'll say in terms of honorable mentions is that I think this movie is it is the perfect marriage of action, stimulating visuals, great storytelling, allegory. It says something, and I always applaud a movie for doing that, and especially in a time and in an industry that is sometimes still afraid to let movies do that. Especially if it's something that you might just look at more as entertainment on the surface. Someone might just look at The Matrix as a martial arts film or an action film on the surface. But if you're really watching the movie, the themes there are so heavy and so deep. I love that kind of storytelling. And, you don't get to see it often, but when all those pieces work together in terms of cinema, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I love those kinds of movies. And so that's why this is one of my favorites. We're going to move on to trivia. To prepare for the scene where Neo wakes up in a pod, Keanu Reeves lost 15 pounds and shaved his whole body to give Neo an emaciated look.
He looked good in that goo. Just saying. Anyway, the opening action scene took 6 months of training and 4 days to shoot.
All the scenes that take place within the Matrix have a green tint, as if watching them through a computer monitor. Scenes in the real world have a blue tint. Blue was also used at a minimum within the Matrix, since the directors thought blue was more of a real-world color, despite ironically blue being often the least occurring color in nature. The fight scene between Morpheus and Neo, which is neither in the real world nor in the Matrix, is tinted yellow.
After the lobby shootout, the camera pans back, showing the aftermath of the gunfight. A moment passes, and a large chunk of one of the pillars falls off. This was not planned, but was left in for effect.
And how many times have you seen that in films now? Where after there's a big explosion or whatever, and people, all of a sudden you have one thing kind of fall off at the very end.
Carrie-Anne Moss twisted her ankle while shooting one of her scenes, but decided not to tell anyone until after filming, so they wouldn't recast her. Oh, girl.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Lawrence Fishburne stated that once he read the script, he did not understand why other people found it confusing. However, he had a doubt if the movie would ever be made because it was so smart.
Yep, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Larry Fishburne, Oh my God, Apocalypse Now.
He was
Jesus.
only 16.
He was only 16. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. He acted the shit out of that role on
He
that
was
boat.
only
Oh my
16
God.
years old when he did Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
And now I can't remember if this is true or not. Now, did he lie about his age?
Yes. Yes, he lied.
He had to.
Because he knew that by the end of the filming, he was
Right.
of age.
Would be 18.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's another great movie.
Yeah.
The Wachowskis have said that the popular Japanese manga and the film of the same name, Ghost in the Shell, from 1995, were big influences on the development of the film.
Have you guys seen it? Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
What are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I mean, I saw it when it came out, and it's probably one of the first anime films that I saw. I thought it was very high quality. I thought the direction was good. I thought the performances were good, the characters. I don't remember much about the dialogue.
Yeah.
I just remember a lot about the action. But I saw it way back when it came out.
So you'd recommend it to check
Oh,
out
yeah,
as like the first anime
Oh,
film?
yeah, that has to be on your list.
Okay.
You know, if you're gonna see any of those films, you have to see Ghost in the Shell.
You get me curious now. The trivia did, and then Lawrence's review. I'm like, oh, I should watch this movie then.
There's a live action version.
There is.
There
is. I can't remember when it came
with
out.
what's her name?
The
The one with the hair and the nails?
Charlize
Yes.
Theron.
Oh no, that's Aeon Flux
Oh, right, that's Aeon
That's
Flux.
Aeon
And
Flux.
that's another good animated film.
animated series. Yeah.
Ooh!
And-
And Flux. Dude, I might have liked men in the 90s, but still, when I saw that cartoon, I was like, oh my God, those are nice tits.
Aeon
Oh
Flux.
God. Oh my
Yeah. If you can't have it for real, watch it on anime.
You got it. Oh, girl.
So we have come to the end. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Dad, for coming on. Final thoughts on a scale of 1 to 5. How many red pills would you give this film?
I would give this. Oh, geez, don't hate me, but I'd give it 4. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd give it 4. I think it's because if listeners know me by now, this is episode 20. Congratulations, we made it to 20 episodes.
Hey,
I haven't mentioned it yet, but
that's a great 20th anniversary.
I like a lot of films that sort of, I don't know, breathe. And this is a very action heavy film. So it's not my typical, but it is a beautiful film, and there's a lot to love about it. And I think our listeners probably have already seen it, but if not, please watch. But I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 pills.
Yeah, I probably would give it a 4. If it was the only film that I ever saw, I'd give it a 5. But I've seen what I consider to be some of the greatest science fiction films of all time. And so this is it's a great movie. I mean, just the other evening, I woke up out of sleep because I'm watching on Apple TV Plus Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
Oh yeah.
And so, it has Godzilla in it, but it's so bad. It really is so bad.
Oh, it's not good.
Oh my God, no.
I thought this was going to be a recommendation. It's a non-recommendation.
It is horrible.
Yeah,
And and I was thinking about the original Godzilla movies of the 60s. And then, I was watching the Golden Globes, and then Oppenheimer won all of these awards. And it just, brought it all back together again, that the reason that, Japanese made Godzilla was it was a way of them referencing the dropping of the atomic bomb
Oh
on
wow.
Japan. Because Godzilla is a radioactive fire-breathing, huge monster that destroys Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And they made that film in part in reference to the way they felt about the dropping of the bomb on their country. So yeah, so when I think about film from that perspective, The Matrix is a solid 4, but when I put it in, in context of a lot of the other science fiction films that I've seen, I think A Clockwork Orange again, probably beginning to end 5.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I watch it too, but I've met almost nobody that also enjoys it. So I'm very
Oh my God.
I think it's great, Lawrence, that you like it as well, because I also like it. I used to watch it every year on Thanksgiving. Isn't that odd?
I have watched that film so many times. I know the language. I mean, the fact that he wrote an entire language.
Yeah. Like
Just
his
movie.
eyes they're not called eyes, they're like my wobblies or something, right?
Glazzies.
Yeah.
He calls them glazzies. But yeah, I mean, I love the dialogue. I think it's a great movie.
I would give The Matrix 5 out of 5. I think it's because, again, it marries all the elements of visual storytelling, action, storytelling with a purpose, a message. It marries all these elements, and it is the kind of movie that I would like to make. I think especially in an age where people have closed off their ears and don't want to listen. I see movies like this as a way of, and I hope this isn't a negative, it's like sneaking in a little bit of cheese with the vegetables to a child. And then, the child gets the nutrients because you kind of find a way to disguise it, and you find a way to sneak it in. And I think that is something that this movie does so beautifully.
What else can you listen to on the BQN? Replicate yourself a mug of hot chocolate and join Amy, Mark, Christos, and Kelvin as they discuss everything and anything in the Star Trek universe on All Good Things. Boost yourself with an energy drink and join Davey on YouTube and Twitch for reviews and live streams of classic, cheap, and sometimes more recent video games on Bargain Bin Gamer. Brew yourself a pot of coffee and join Jeremiah to discuss Star Trek Voyager on The Captain's Couch. Mix your favorite cocktail and join Mark and Matt at Cinema Z to discuss the films you probably missed but should definitely check out. Pour a cup of tea, Earl Grey, hot, and listen to Stephen and Keith as they discuss the next generation of Trek on Galaxy Class. Get yourself something caffeinated and learn an interesting bit of history with Chrissy and Jason on History with the Szilagys. Have a bowl of Flomeek soup and join Thad and Chrissy and a guest to discuss new episodes of Star Trek as they are released on Infinite Diversity. Have something to sharpen your mind and put your Trek knowledge to the test with the Treksperts quiz. Take a bite out of something that didn't seem edible and join Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley covering all things in New Trek, including that show that is Trek in all but name, The Orville, on Union Federation. Get your Sunday brunch ready for The View Screen, a live weekly talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy with featured guests talking about all things Trek. Pour a glass of wine and spill some tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with an LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea, Bev? And Patreon members get to pass around that green bottle of Aldebaran whiskey once a month on the round table, and they can listen to It's Green with Mark White and Amy's Math Moments.
All right. Well, we've come to the end. Do you want to go ahead and give us our next episode preview, Mark?
Absolutely. So, associate producer of this pod, Miss Amy Nelson, has kind of been pretty persistent about wanting us to watch this film for like 6 months. Anyway, so we're gonna watch the film, and the film is Three Idiots. It's a 2009 Indian Hindi language coming of age drama film written, edited, and directed by Rajakumar look it up. You can find his name and his spelling. The story follows the friendship of three students at an Indian engineering college It is a satire about the social pressure under the Indian educational system. Three Idiots is now considered to be among the greatest Indian films ever made, which is really exciting. So this will be our first foreign language film, and is brought to you by Miss Amy Nelson. So thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Well, listeners, we would love to hear what you thought about today's episode, and we hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. You can also send your thoughts to @CinemaZPod on Twitter and BlueSky, and let us know if you'd like to recommend a film. And please follow the network on Twitter, BlueSky, and Instagram @BQN Podcasts. So, Mark, where can people find you when you are not covered in jelly, being stimulated by multiple electrodes and having multiple umbilical cords ripped from your body?
Oh my God. You know what drove me crazy about that scene? I was just so impressed by Keanu Reeves' ability to deep throat that giant cord. When he pulled it out, I was like, it's still going. Wow, the things he can do. Anyway, that's impressive.
Skills, listeners, skills.
Okay, well, when I'm not deep throating big black cords, you can find
Careful.
You can find me on the BQN Collective Facebook group. You can find me, on BlueSky at MW207. And yeah, all good things. I'm also on that podcast, but it's on hiatus for a few months. So you can listen to the backlog of episodes, I guess.
Yeah, catch up.
Yeah, and you can find me if you're driving around Lynn, Massachusetts. You can find me throwing empty boxes out my window, because I'll be unpacking for the foreseeable future. All right. Let's see here. And Laurence, where can people find you when you are not schooling all of us with your film knowledge?
I am around. I'm in Brooklyn, but you might be able to find me on SoundCloud. I do have some music and some compositions on SoundCloud. So if you look up Laurence Jennings on SoundCloud, you might find my page. So Matt, where can people find you when you're not sitting at my kitchen counter building Star Trek spaceships?
I love it.
I have been doing that for a very long time, and I continue to do that. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube on @1701BLERD. I wrote a web series about a gay black nerd using Star Trek to cope with life. The third episode is dropping very soon. It is in my composer's hands now, and music is being done. So my part is done, partially thanks to my father, who over Christmas break told me to finally let it go. So I had to do that. I am in an episode of a television series called For All Mankind. I'm there for a cute minute. I make a cameo. It's in season 4, episode 1. Blink and you'll miss me, but you'll see me there. You'll see me have a little moment, so you can see me there. And that's it. So at this time, we'd like you to hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a star rating and written review that helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching BQN.
At this time, we'd like to thank our associate producer, the lovely Miss Amy Nelson. And a special thanks to our very own Laz Marquez for our original show art. The opening and closing music for this podcast is titled Dancing Dead and was provided by Ketsa from the Free Music Archive, providing royalty-free music for content creators.
If you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. We will add you to the Hive Mind Facebook group so you can enjoy It's Green, Amy's Math Moments, and other network perks. With a monthly subscription of $5 or more, you can join our meetings on the Hive Mind Roundtable discussion on the second Saturday of each month. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and watch your messages. So listeners, thank you very much for listening. To my dad, thank you so very much for coming on and gracing us with your knowledge for this afternoon.
My pleasure.
We hope you'll tune in next time. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be narrowing my entire body in the near future.
And covering yourself in the jelly as well.
Yes, well, I already have the gel. I just need to get the nair. Don't ask why.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We're not here to king shame on this podcast. Assume you also have like a steel pod, self-made pod, in your garage that you're just gonna...
basement.
In the basement.
Dark basement.
Okay, that's fair. You know, when you can't have the Matrix in real life, just bring the Matrix into your home, and you can have that unplugging experience at your home.
I put the lotion in the basket. I put the lotion in the basket, you bitch.
And on that note, have a great day, listeners.
Give me back my dog.